So happy you're here. We have ourselves a new day. That day is Wednesday, February the 21st. Come on in. Here's what we're working on this morning. Tanker truck spill on Highway 6 north of Caledonia has closed several roads in the area.
A late-night house fire in Dundas is now under investigation.
And not one, but 4 beetle picks, biopics, are in the works. Weren't you unofficially the 5th Beatle, Brian?
Well, there was a time when I had hair kind of like that. However, no longer have the coif.
No longer the coif. Well,
no
looking,
longer the
looking
coif.
good in this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nanette. How are you?
Good. You guys look like you called each other.
We do, don't we?
Yeah,
I
look
go
at this, huh?
I go with the
Gray
mock
and-
neck on this Wednesday. You went with the tie, but looking fine and dandy.
Yep.
Black
you
and
do as
gray.
well.
They're going to be black and lots of black and yellow around the
Simone Lawrence
black
Day.
and gold.
Yeah, Simone Lawrence is going to be coming up on the show. Big day for number 21, so excited about that. Excited about our show. We got a busy show.
Very busy.
Let's get right to the roads and the forecast, Brian.
Yeah, the forecast is great. I mean, you can't complain about an 8-degree high in the sunshine this time of February. This is more like into spring, and it's going to be even milder for the day tomorrow with some sun. So we're sitting at -1 right now, a bit of a wind chill, but not by much. So it's a chilly start to the day. It's mainly cloudy right now, but we should see some sun, and all the way to 8 degrees later on today. What a day. All right, looking at traffic this morning, I've got nothing I can show you here. 403 Waterdown Road still doing fine. We'll show you just a few MTO traffic cameras. Nikola Tesla Boulevard is still really light coming out of Stony Creek. Top of the Skyway Bridge, Toronto bound away from us on that, and east of 4th Line. And of course, as we mentioned right off the top, that problem in the Caledonia area, it's Highway 6 North. That's between Greens Road and Unity Side Road. We have a closure there because of a tanker spill. We'll have details on that coming up. We will look at details on weather and traffic in a few minutes right now. The news.
Yeah, let's get right into that, Brian, because, as you mentioned, police have closed a number of roads going out of Caledonia towards Hamilton due to this tanker truck spill. Let's turn to Simone Gavros, who's on scene with the situation. What do we know, Simone?
Hi, Tim. Well, right now I am near on Highway 6, just before Unity Side Road, where police have closed off this stretch due to that tanker truck spill. It happened early this morning around 2 a.m., and OPP did post on social media early this morning with an update. They say that there's a slippery substance that's covering the road, so they've closed off a large stretch of this area, and that's been happening for a number of hours right now. Now, as you can see, traffic is being diverted down Unity Road here, but it's going to be quite busy as people are looking to get around this detour. Highway 6 is closed in both directions from Greens Road to Unity Side Road. Argyle Street is closed in both directions from Road 66 to Orkney Street, and Road 66 is closed in both directions from Argyle to McClung. Now, Ministry of Environment, Fire, and Police remain on scene. That was updated by police early this morning, but police do say that this is expected to be closed for the remainder of the morning as crews work to clean up this spill here. But for now, Annette, I'll send things over to you.
Okay, another developing story this morning. Hamilton police say a late-night house fire in Dundas is under investigation. It started near York Road in Dundas just after 11:30 last night. When crews got there, flames, a lot of them, were coming from the home. Police tell us that a man had minor injuries and has been released from hospital, but a dog died in this fire. Crews have been putting out hotspots this morning. The cause of the fire still hasn't been announced.
So the family of a 17-year-old girl shot and killed in 2020 read heartfelt victim impact statements as one of the 2 men facing charges in her death appeared in court yesterday. 23-year-old Cadence Beauperlant pleaded guilty last week to unauthorized possession of a loaded firearm. According to an agreed statement of facts, Beauperlant brought a loaded handgun to a house party back in 2020. That gun was passed around to several people, including Devontae Sky Davis, who the court heard was jokingly pointing the gun at his then-girlfriend, Larmond, when it went off. Yesterday, Larmond's mother told the courtroom that her life has been shattered. The Crown is looking for a 5-year sentence for Beauperlon, in addition to a nearly 4-year sentence he is currently serving for drug-related charges. The sentencing hearing is going to continue on Thursday.
City of Hamilton is looking to speed up converting Main Street from one-way to two-way traffic. The changes will happen from Dundurn Street in the west to the Delta at Gage Park. During a public works meeting, city staff have put forward recommendations to accelerate and complete the conversion 17 months earlier than expected. Work is expected to start next year. The overall budget will come in at $26 million. That includes $11 million for repairs that need to be done anyway. Staying with Public Works, Hamilton Transit is getting a big boost this year. The city is adding 49,000 service hours, adding new routes, and extending operating hours.
These investments in operating hours and frequency continue to make transit fast, frequent, and reliable. This is how we will make transit, instead of cars, ride shares, or taxi service, a viable method for customers who need to get to and from employment at extended hours of the day and night.
The upgrade comes in year 8 of Hamilton's 10-year transit strategy, designed to get more people moving on transit and to get the city ready for LRT in 2031. Now, by September, the transit director says they'll be adding late-night service to 5 routes. That's the Barton, the Bayfront, the B Line, the Mountaineer, and the Ancaster route. Service will also start at 6 a.m. on several bus lines, including the 51 University. Sunday service is going to be added to 4 new routes, and several with 60-minute intervals between buses will now come every 30 minutes. 2024 is also already off to a promising start, with January ridership at 94% of pre-COVID levels.
NBA is still on their All-Star break, so all eyes are on the ice of the smooth and bumpy varieties. We get into a sports line where Austin Matthews attempts to score 50 goals before the calendar even turns to March. That's crazy. He can do it tonight, where he fell in love with hockey, his home state of Arizona. And the Leafs will not have their top defenseman Morgan Riley, as he will have to complete his suspension of 5 games for that cross-check right there to the head of Sens Ridley Gregg back on February the 10th. So the Leafs appealed the decision by the NHL, but Commissioner Gary Bettman upheld the 5-game ban yesterday, which isn't all that bad for Toronto because they've gone 4-0 thus far with Riley being out. And the drive for 5 tonight when they visit the Coyotes in Arizona for their first and only time this season. He can return tomorrow when they play the defending champs in Vegas.
Lundell gets by Brady, gets shot, back, will score! Let's go home, baby!
Yeah, despite a solid effort by the Sens playing on back-to-back nights in Florida, it was the Panthers' Anton Lundell had scored in overtime to extend their win streak to 6 games, now sit atop the Eastern Conference standings with a 3-2 win last night. Florida is 10 points clear of the Leafs in the Atlantic, 1 point up on the Rangers, who also won last night, their 8th straight.
Byfield quickly to center ice. With speed, Byfield around one man in on goal. Scores! What a goal!
Holy smokes. The Kings, Quentin Byfield, with the leader for goal of the year last night in LA as they pounded the Blue Jackets 5-1 for a 4th straight win. They do not get any better than that. He puts the puck through the skates of Zach Werenski, then kicks the puck to his own stick, off balance on one knee. Puts the backhander past Columbus goalie Elvis Merzlikins. Going to be tough to beat that one from the 2nd overall pick in the 2020 draft.
He's going to have to come through a tight hole for a possible double sitting back.
Rekindled the rivalry with Manitoba's Jennifer Jones, who announced it would be her 18th and last Scotties as she's retiring, but hoping for a 7th Scotties title. Almond standing in the way of that, and her Ontario rink got the best of Jones, beating her 7-5 to move to 5-0. That's tops in Pool B. Jones falls to 4-1, heading into draw 13 today. But I want to stay in Calgary for the biggest comeback in Tournament of Hearts history, as Carrie Galusha's rink from the Northwest Territories came out of nowhere to take down Ontario's Danielle Inglis. The Territories were down 7-0 through 3 ends, but then stunned Inglis 10-9 for their first win at the Scotties, while Ontario fell to 2-3. Galusha's rink scored 3 in the 9th and 1 more in the 10th for the win. All right, let's finish in Dunedin, where Vladdy Jr. was in the cage yesterday, looking slim and trim as the Blue Jays kicked off their first full squad spring training workout. Vladdy coming off a subpar year, but he did win his arbitration case that will pay him $19.9 million this year. Revealed he wasn't feeling his best last season, but he's ready to go now. Jays have their first Grapefruit League game coming up on Saturday versus the Phillies.
6:10 on this 21st of February here, looking at our exclusive camera, 403 on Waterdown Road. Just getting a little bit busier now, but still moving nicely. No problems in the Hamilton area. The big problem, Caledonia, just north of Caledonia, through onto Argyle Street. Highway 6 closed. That's between Green and Unity Side Road for a tanker spill there. So keep that in mind. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. QEW Highway 406 in St. Catharines, first of all, open. Same with Nikola Tesla Boulevard. East of Brant Street looks good. All the way through east of Royal Windsor Drive. 427 Gardner QEW combination. Really light. So no other problems this morning. Otherwise, some of the roads around Caledonia, if you're in that area, be aware that that's what you're going to face this morning. Temperatures right now. Temperatures, we are mild to start the day. I mean, -1 into this time of February. Looks pretty good. It feels pretty good as well. Winds are fairly light, so a wind chill of -3. It is a mainly cloudy start for the day. And for school today, we are going to see sun. And look at that mild high of 8 degrees. It'll be a mix of sun and clouds for the day today. Little bit of a wind will pick up. And it's the winds. You can see those red arrows coming up from the south. That's that nice southerly flow that's helping to pull in the milder temperatures. That low going by, and the trough of low is going to give us chance of a shower overnight tonight, chance of a shower again tomorrow. Oh, but then watch out for that cold front that's really going to drop the temperatures as we head in toward the weekend. But look at today, 7, 8 degrees, mix of sun and clouds generally. There is a chance of a shower to the west of us for Guelph and Kitchener as that shower activity gets closer and spreads across the horseshoe overnight. But temperatures mild overnight, 2, 3, and 4. That's plus side temperatures for tonight, and then tomorrow. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Look at these temperatures, 8, 9, and 10 degrees, 7 for Simcoe and Cayuga. A little bit of sunshine in some areas tomorrow, but otherwise still a chance of a shower. So a really mild day tomorrow. And it's not bad out the door this morning. It's mainly cloudy. We'll call it chilly, not cold. Temperature -1. Long range coming up and at 10.
You were on the slopes yesterday, weren't you, Emily Vukovic?
I was at Glen Eden. It was a beautiful day.
Wasn't it great? Yeah.
So
sunny, mild, and the conditions were amazing. They've really upped their snowmaking game, so we'll talk about that coming up.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you talking about in Chit Chat?
Well, the Beatles, each of them have their own movie coming out, and Beyonce, shocking, is breaking records yet again, but this time on the country charts.
Okay.
Details on the couch.
Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Coming up after the break in business news. So changes are coming to carbon rebates. Rural residents will rejoin, but some say it's bad for business. We'll see you in 2 minutes. $6:15 is the time on your Wednesday. Here's some numbers for you. Canadian dollar unchanged this morning, sitting at 73.95 cents US. Gold up 60 cents, 20.40 an ounce. Crude oil down 47 cents, 76.57 a barrel. Off to Europe we go. Hey, Europe. Markets are down in London, but up in Frankfurt and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were down in Tokyo, but up in Hong Kong and Shanghai. Checking North American markets, the TSX down just 38 points. The Dow fell 64, but the Nasdaq had a triple-digit drop.
All right, so glad you're here on this Wednesday morning. Let's get into some business news. And we start in Ottawa because they are scaling back on carbon price rebates for small and medium-sized businesses in Canada. So the move, it comes as the federal government aims to increase the amount rebated to rural families. As of April the 1st, those households will now get a 20% top-up to the carbon rebate instead of the initial 10%. Canadian Federation of Independent Business says the move is deeply unfair, saying small businesses were already paying more than they were getting back, with the change set to make the shortfall even worse. Ottawa still owes businesses more than $2.5 billion in promised carbon price and revenues from the first 5 years of the program and is not saying when that money will flow.
Zoomer Media out of Toronto is on a buying spree. It's just purchased digital media publisher Curiosity for $5 million. This comes after Zoomer Media recently announced that it was buying a radio station in Ontario from Bell Media after Bell's most recent layoffs and programming cuts. In addition to TV, radio, and print, Zoomer Media also owns Blog.to and Daily Hive, which are all focused on hyper-local content.
Let's get into some more media buys because Walmart is buying TV maker Vizio for $2.3 billion. That move is aimed at shoring up its advertising business and creating a more potent rival to Amazon. Walmart believes it can use Vizio to sell ads for products on Vizio's popular smart TVs. Retail giant's media and advertising arm called Walmart Connect grew 30% last year, yet advertising still only makes up a fraction of Walmart's business.
Checking a bag on American Airlines is now more expensive than any other major U.S. airline. The first check bag on most flights will cost $40 U.S. for customers who don't prepay online, $35 for the customers that do. Previously, the price was $30 for both. American has also hiked the price of a second checked bag from $40 to $45. The changes are in effect now for future flights. American Airlines' biggest rivals, Delta and United, both charge $30 for the first bag, $40 for the second on similar routes. Business travelers won't be affected. Well, Home Depot, which is a bellwether of the housing market and the U.S. economy, says sales dropped over the winter. The company is also expecting a slow 2024 overall. Sales at stores open for at least a year were down 3.5% last quarter. Home Depot projects sales will continue to drop 1% this year. Home Depot's CEO said that 2023 was a year of moderation. Demand for home improvement fell since the end of the pandemic, with high mortgage rates and a slowdown in new home construction. Also, a lot of consumers have shifted their spending from physical goods to experiences, spending their money instead on things like concerts and travel.
Elon Musk says his Neuralink company's first human test subject can now control a computer mouse with only their mind. This nearly a month after having the company's chip implanted in his brain. So the FDA gave clearance for human clinical trials in May, and Musk said last month the company had completed its first implantation surgery on a human test subject. Who volunteered for that one? He's so far has been offered few details and no evidence about the outcome of the operation. Other companies doing similar work are actually further along in the research process. For example, a firm, it's called Synchron, has been enrolling and implanting people in its trial since 2021, and several of the people in their trial can control computers with their brains. So Synchron published their findings in a peer-reviewed journal last year. Volunteer?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're taking a break right now. Brian and his super brain are going to be back with traffic.
He's got something in there.
And your 7-day forecast.
Just music running in there. Also, we'll tell you about a Canadian kids hospital that's making strides in enabling children with their own brain-computer interface.
6:23 on the button on this Wednesday morning. We're looking at our MTO traffic cameras, QEW Highway 405. There's nothing happening through Niagara whatsoever. Top of the Skyway Bridge, Toronto bound towards us, still looks pretty good. East of 4th all the way through Mississauga Road, and 403 at Matheson doing fine. The problem that we have is in the Caledonia area this morning. Highway 6 closed north of Caledonia, and actually Argyle Street through Caledonia is closed as well due to a tanker truck spill. There is a slick mess on the highway. Ministry of the Environment is there, and the cleanup is going to be ongoing throughout the morning. Be aware of that. Let's get to some temperatures that we have right now. Hamilton sitting in the minus column, -1. Wind chill about -3. The winds are fairly light, -2 Mississauga, but the plus side to start the morning here in Toronto and for Grimsby, yeah, +1 there. So seasonals now 0 for the daytime high, -8 for the overnight low. Sun times, yeah, we gain another 3 minutes of daylight for the day, and those are our records for today. And we are going to see some sun today. We're going to call it a mix of sun and clouds. We should be +1 for the first bell going to school, and then 8 degrees after school. It'll get milder, even milder than yesterday. Yesterday we got to 5. So 8 degrees today with some sun. Tonight showers roll in. Temperature dips to 3, but that's +3. 9 for tomorrow with chance of showers. Then the temperature cools off for Friday. Sun, clouds, and 3. Oh, but look at the overnight low Friday night into Saturday morning. -12. That's the cold air really settling in. -1 with some sun on Saturday. Then it gets cloudy and mild once again as we head through the beginning of next week. That's forecast. Annette, Tim.
Okay, just a few moments ago, we had this story about a fancy newfangled brain implant. Well, it's not quite this, but Canada's largest children's rehab hospital is developing technology to help children with mobility challenges. And for an 8-year-old named Giselle, it means newfound freedom.
Giselle can activate the system by thinking about going quickly in her wheelchair or thinking about go, go, go. And then she can stop the system by coming back down to a quiet, calm mind. It gives our kids some agency, the ability to have an effect on the world around them without relying on an intermediary. And that's really important for their own self-development and understanding of their place in the world.
Okay, so due to a gene mutation, Giselle can't speak, walk, or move her arms very much. But now that isn't stopping her from moving around a little. The brain-computer interface program at Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital in Toronto has been developing this technology that allows Giselle and dozens of other kids with disabilities to use their minds to move and play. So the system, it works like an on-off switch where thinking a specific thought can activate a device and another can then stop that. Giselle's parents say watching their daughter gain some independence has been an amazing experience and one that gives them hope for the future. Researchers say their next big goal is to enable communication for children who are non-verbal.
That's amazing.
I just got chills actually reading that story.
Very, very
Look what
cool.
that means for Giselle and so many other kids, and what that means for their parents to see that just that little bit of progress.
A little bit of independence.
As parents, that's what you want to see, just that little bit of progress that they make, and you're just so satisfied. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, we got lots more to come. We got a huge show today.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Simone Lawrence going to be on the show because it's Simone Day.
Yeah, it is. It's all about 21 today, so we'll see you in a couple minutes.